Everybody. It's been a minute since I shared anything, and I miss y'all. I have truly been uninspired lately because my main objective was compiling evidence exposing Iyah Bishop, aka Natureboy, not the members, and the Velvet and Solar fiasco. It just had me annoyed and overall disappointed. And I'm not necessarily too interested in what they have to say enough to report on it. But I came across this video of Aaron and Kendra, formerly known as True and Sheeba, and I feel we have finally come full circle when it comes to the deprogramming process with them. My videos do start out with Baby Jaw, specifically, shaming True and Sheeba for their parenting and playing hot potato. But now I couldn't be prouder of their progress. They've both bounced back beautifully. Of course, my main concern is Baby John. He is thriving, and so are they. Aaron and Kendra are going to address some of the main issues that I've exposed in my compilation videos. So once again, I feel like we're coming full circle. We're closing a chapter together today, and this is just a very insightful interview, confirming a lot of what we already, knew, what we put together, watching them over the years. Now, they will discuss their own reflections, or better yet, flashbacks, as well as their disconnection, from reality and self. But Kendra is also going to discuss Zoca's physical, mental, sexual abuse, and a very detailed account of the tragic death of Zoca's baby and the aftermath, and a possible abortion attempt, and Solar throwing Zoca's tooth out to spite her. And then Zoca understandably crushed mentally by Natureboy and company. Now, in this video, they will address specifically Malia's systematic abuse, Velvet being held hostage in her underwear by Iyah and a wall of cult members. They will explain the warped way that they had been conditioned to think that sacrifice, servitude, and public humiliation, degradation, were all a way of achieving enlightenment, a death of ego, and atonement for their eternal soul. But without further ado, there's no better people to explain more eloquently than Aaron and Kendra themselves. So once more, let's give them a round of applause, a standing ovation. Really happy for them.
Well, I think that you feel like that because you feel like he is not all true spirit. You feel like he is your spirit too. And I said, yes, I do. So in that moment, he realized that I didn't really believe in his teachings as far as the child just is the father's. I believe that Jah was a part of me as well. So I think he was trying to kind of break my relationship with Jah with his teachings, as well as the other women's relationship with their children with his teachings, but it just wasn't working with me because I was the only woman there that had their child physically there, so it hit a little different. She was very reluctant to take those shots, and he told her, "You're not supposed to have no fear. You're not supposed to have no fear," and made her take the shot.
When you took the 6 shots while you're pregnant, now we're not judging.
She was so pretty and full of life.
Did you take those 6 shots on your own free will, or
this makes me sad.
Did he come out and say, everybody take the shots, and making you take shots as well?
I took the shots myself. I had the glass in my hand and I did this. So for me to do it myself, I free will, like, it's destined, but I did it myself. I wouldn't be here if I said I don't want to do it.
So you wasn't forced and wanted to cry and say you didn't want to drink while you was pregnant?
No, they trying to send me down.
This is me and Zoca.
I have energy enough for myself that I can know when I want to do something and when I don't. And if I feel I have a moral compass, that's why I'm here. So I would leave if I be like, oh, I don't agree.
And shortly after that, he took all the women back. Like I was talking about earlier, there were 7 of us in one house in Mexico, and he made sure to have sex with her. 6 months pregnant. 7.
I didn't want to protect her, but I couldn't speak out because I knew that would become physically abusive for me, I knew that I wasn't gonna be able to reel my documents in that way. So what I did was I participated in all the sexual activity. Like, I'm right here. It got to the point where he separated the women and the men, and he put us in 2 different houses, and he was in the house with the women, and the men were neglected, pretty much. And when he got all the women in the house together, that same day, he had proceeded to have sex with everybody. That same day, all of the women, including me. And he did whatever he wanted to with us, whatever he wanted to, and he did it for about 2 weeks until, you know, the other women were like, well, Zoca, she wanted to be with Solar, and she was pregnant, you know, with Solar's baby, so she wanted to be with him, and Natureboy was still having sex with her, and she didn't have a choice. She didn't have a choice. And Sheeba
Didn't realize this, but I watched a video yesterday where I guess she had found a way. I think she was 6 months pregnant. She was definitely showing a lot. She had never been to a hospital though to get a checkup or anything. So we really don't know the health of the baby while this was all happening. After those tequila shots, she was never at a doctor appointment ever. None of us were. While pregnant. I remember her coming to me and telling me she found a video of there's a way to abort a baby when the baby is, you know, even big, like even the amount of months that she was at, there was a way to abort the baby. So she came and showed me a video of how they do it, and it was a very graphic video. And she said, this is what I want to do. I want to abort this baby. The baby was kicking, everything. She wanted to abort the baby. And she somehow got a ticket. She got in the car to go abort the baby one morning. And she was going to go fly back to California, basically. That's where she got a ticket to. She was going to go fly back to California and get the baby aborted. Nobody knew about this. I don't think it was said online or out loud. I don't know, because I didn't watch every video or anything. I just know that this is what she told me. This is what I remember. And I just remember she came back, you know, like that same day. She's like, I couldn't do it. She's like, I just got this feeling that it was like I was doing something wrong and I couldn't do it. And so she never got on the flight. She never went to California. She never got an abortion. She just stayed. And she got back with Solar, and she seemed to be doing better, but her skin was still really bad eczema. Just her body wasn't looking good. Her face wasn't looking good. Bags in her eyes. Just wasn't the same girl. And I didn't realize this, but I watched a video yesterday. She even said that she got pregnant 3 months into her being there. I believe that Jayon would have left if she didn't get pregnant. She got pregnant 3 months into being there. What was she supposed to do? Get on a flight and go back to her family pregnant? She was embarrassed, you know? This was a girl that only had one other sexual encounter in her life. You know, we were a lot alike. We didn't give ourselves away like that. So getting pregnant 3 months into being there, she was shocked into staying, you know? She was trapped and went through with the whole pregnancy. After, you know, even being forced into, I don't even know if this was before or after, but she did have a threesome with her and Solar and the cult leader. And she was forced to do that because the cult leader basically said to her in some type of way or form that, oh, you want to be with 2 men, right? Well, here's your chance. And she told me she didn't like it at all. Later on, and the reason why her tooth was not present towards, that stay, the end of that stay in Puerto Rico. Hold on, my baby.
Man, some of this stuff I'm just not hearing. I don't know if I'm doing a good job on my face because I learned how to do it in the military. I don't know if I'm doing a good job holding myself together as far as my facial expressions is concerned, but on the inside, and I understand what people say when they talk about this is a lot. And just when you think you've gotten yourself back together, it's something else. I was there and I'm just now. That's why I encourage everybody that was involved to please find it in yourself to tell your story, because you have pieces that other people don't have that could be very vital to their healing process. I know you. Because there's certain stuff the women seen that the guys didn't see. There's certain things that the guys seen that the women didn't see. There's certain things that each person seen that other people didn't see. So to get a real complete picture of what we was doing and who we was dealing with, we need all of them pieces. I'm not rushing you. I'm not.
Yeah, I really, the reason why I'm saying this stuff too is because I know that she probably doesn't remember this stuff because I barely, like things like some certain things are coming back to me. Like thinking about her story, I'm going back into every encounter that I had with her, and I'm just like, I was so absorbed in things I had going on that I didn't take the time to think this young girl that came here at 19, she should never have to deal with, and he broke her down, and I think we all did. By the end, I was slapping Zoca in Atlanta. I had her
About to talk about
her
her
tooth.
too, babe. Yeah.
Yep. So after there was an incident, where I don't know if it was the same night that she had the threesome with them, but it was around that time where her and Solar got into a kind of altercation. I don't know if it was physical or not, but it wouldn't put it past me.
As hell.
Oh, okay, I wouldn't put it past him. I'm like, how do you say that?
No, it's all good.
I wouldn't doubt it because that was a normal thing in their relationship. For somehow, some way, he got a hold of her tooth. So the tooth thing, she came and joined us with a false tooth. She got into some type of fight or something. I don't remember what the story was, but something happened in her childhood where she got her tooth knocked out. So that tooth that's there and it's missing. Oh, I'm not saying that right. The tooth that's missing now was always missing from childhood. She came there with a fake tooth. I didn't even know this. And it doesn't have her tooth in. And I'm like, what's going on? And she's like, no, I don't know if it was that day. I think it was one day she pulled out her tooth for me. Like she knew how to like pull it out and like put it back in. I was like, wait, what? And she was like, yeah, it's a big insecurity of mine. And I'm just like, okay. So I guess that during this time that she had a threesome with them and she was having an altercation with Solar. Solar took the tooth and threw it far in Puerto Rico, like threw it off the balcony. So she was forced to then reveal to the world that she didn't have a tooth there anymore because she no longer had her false tooth. And the co-leader kept saying he would take her to the dentist to get another tooth, but he never did. So she was just kind of forced to live with out loud with her insecurity, and she kind of acts like it doesn't bother her, but it's her biggest insecurity. Like, she's truly bothered by the fact that she's walking around without that tooth. That was, that meant a lot to her, and I think that's why he threw it off the balcony. And so, like I said, she's beat up so bad mentally and physically that I don't think she knows where to turn at this point. Bruh,
I live a dope ass life, even though it comes with a lot of confrontation with me. It shows me who I am, what I need to grow, what areas I need to grow in, and I have to stop caring about what you think about me. I have to. You see my teeth? I'm not this body, I'm not this vessel, I'm the energy that breathes through it. I don't have a tooth right here. And I gotta accept myself. I don't care if you like it. I don't care if you think any type of way about me. Because you know what the most important thing is for me to do? It's for me to love myself. It's for me to understand myself. It's for me to really just be like, wow, I see your beauty. I see your pain. But you have taken that pain and you have made it so beautiful to look at. You have made it a piece of art. You are beauty itself.
I don't think she views herself as beautiful anymore, or as, the star that she is anymore. She feels like she failed herself, because when she got there, and she feels like he's a prophet, because when she got there, he told her, don't be with Solar, and she went against him and was with Solar anyways, and she feel like if she would have listened to him in the beginning, she would be a goddess by now. But because she didn't listen to the cult leader and she went with Solar, she felt like she's the one that messed up and not the cult leader. So she blames herself for everything that happened, and it's not her fault. Even losing that child wasn't her fault. And I bet it's horrifying to be in that position where people think that you deliberately harmed your child, especially after having the thought of having an abortion. It's like she probably does blame herself, because she's like, I didn't want the baby to be here, but I didn't want the baby to die like that, but she thought she was going to meet her baby that day. She thought she was going to have some type of normal relationship with her child that day. But it didn't happen. I remember we picked her up from the hospital, me and Aaron, her and Courtney.
And Dalen was there too.
Oh, he was.
Remember Dalen with Dalen? Yeah, because me and Dalen.
Oh yeah, you couldn't. You was battle buddies.
Yeah, so he had to go with me because I guess they dropped. Didn't the cult leader drop Jayon and Courtney off at the hospital?
Yeah, at the hospital.
We had to go get them.
Yeah,
we had to go get them.
Mm-hmm. We had to go get them. They were dropped off, and then I think we came and got them the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And when I think it was really real, because the co-leader had told us that the baby had died in the hospital, but it became really real when she walked out without the baby. She walked out the hospital without the baby, and they got in the car.
Yeah, because I didn't understand. Like, I'm thinking, like, what if?
Yeah.
Did he tell us the baby died before we went there? Because I can't even remember.
I think they called him, and I believe he did tell us, because I wasn't totally shocked. I think he did tell us that the baby died, and he was kind of like a "I told you so" type of thing. Like, you know,
I can't even really remember.
yeah, it was kind of blurry that day. I just remember I'm picturing her and Solar walking out the hospital because I remember that moment, and she had like the black hoodie on, and she was like all cuddled up, like, you know, huddled over, like, you know, like obviously sad, and she got in the car and didn't even speak to me. Like, she was just like totally just curled up in the car, and she was texting. I remember she was like texting Solar back and forth, like she had so many deep feelings. You know, Jayan's a very deep person. And she had so many deep feelings, and she was just writing about him and sending him messages back and forth. And they were like, he had his arm around her. They were close in that moment. They were all each other had. I mean, they were the only ones that experienced that. You know, we were not there.
Right.
They experienced that together. Just like me and Aaron experienced the birth of our child together. No one else was there. So it's different, you know, for them than it is for us. But I just remember, you know, she didn't talk. She didn't open up about it. I didn't expect her to. And shortly after, she was forced to get on that live. I think it was like a month before. It was like about 3-4 weeks after she was forced to get on that live.
I say it wasn't that long, because the only reason she was forced to get on that live was because the cult leader was trying to discredit the statements of people saying he killed the baby. So he doesn't care about Jayon and her feelings at all.
No, and that's what I got from that video.
Huh?
I said, and that's what I got from that video. When I watched it yesterday, I realized he did not care about her. It was all about, tell him what happened.
Right. I got it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, tell them what the fuck popping.
Exactly. So you guys don't know what's going on actually in our personal lives. So the fact is that when I was giving birth, actually a contraction had the umbilical cord on my baby, and she wasn't able to come out alive. She passed away because of the contraction being so strong and the umbilical cord in the wrong position. So it's like, that's what I have to go through on my spiritual journey, right?
We don't need nobody taunting her.
So we don't need anybody going back and forth with this energy, y'all saying, asking every time I get on. So I'm fighting my demon. I'm fighting all the things that are in my mind. That's what I went through. And I have a support system behind me, and they're here for me through that time. And I was like able to recuperate, and this is my first time coming back on live from that situation. So I was just love and peace, because I think we deserve that in this world. Like, give it to each other.
Right.
When we hating on people and asking, it's like, come on, like, I'm already on a spiritual journey for myself, trying to heal myself. There's added things with it. So it's like,
it's a song that's really connected to it all.
Yeah.
Real.
Let's spread love, bruh. Like, that's the whole message of what she taught me to bring. The whole birth and rebirth was for me. I died and I came and I'm born again. Like, I'm really feeling myself.
We know the trolls want to take that shit and run with it.
Exactly. And you guys don't even understand what's
fucking business. It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah. We can't even keep anything personal, constantly in our lives, trying to understand what's going on, what's this, what's that, where's the baby? Well, there it is.
Right.
Happy, satisfied. Does it make your life better? And this music video will still be coming out. Tomorrow we'll be shooting. Wake up in the rising and I'm shining. I just I'm enlightened. Woke up out my sleep, I've been guided. Sacrifice my lower self, now I'm righteous. Yeah. Shout out to my chief and the leadest frequency in the tropics where we.
Is it positivity coming through that screen right now?
It is.
It's love through that screen. We want hugs and love to Zoca right now, B. Hugs and fucking love to Zoca, B. Fuck is wrong with y'all, nigga? Shit is devastating, my nigga. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? Nobody want that shit to be public and everybody attaching themselves to it. Yeah. She went through a lot of shit for the couple of weeks. You know what I'm saying? It took her a lot to come on this live right now and show love right now, man. You know what I mean? Like, show fucking love in the building right now, B. For real. She made this song and we still coming out with the video.
I was not sick.
I go back and watch some of these like pivotal moments in people's journey, because as I'm going with you in my mind as you're talking about it, I'm realizing how far removed I am from these people's experiences, because I've associated emotions with these things that only low vibrational, weak people dive into, and that my emotions just can be disregarded because of how I'm thinking. But I'm realizing that the amount of unprocessed trauma that people are carrying,
and that's why I told
is
you, babe, they're not healed. There's no way. There's no way they're healed. There's no way. There's no way they don't. I mean, obviously they're not thinking about, because they might not be thinking about it, but their body still feels it.
It don't go nowhere.
Yeah, it's not. It hasn't gone anywhere. And I was gonna be like, oh, I'll just wait till they tell their story, but I see people that are thinking like, oh, something bad like happened, like, you know, some type of sacrifice and stuff, but it was really just like real life stuff happened, and we were forced to downplay it, you know, but it was real life stuff that a 19, 20, 21-year-old should never have to experience ever. Ever being stupid, you trying to show your butt to these men, you better get flat on your face, you know. And that's when she did, and he got upset because he felt like she was trying to show off, and he kicked her in the stomach. And I do remember that. And it was like I must have checked out, because it's like it just came back to me last week. I just didn't remember, like, when I heard him say it again, and I heard Nedrick actually say what happened, I was like, I was there too. Like, because for all this time, I thought he just saw this moment and I wasn't in the room or something. But a lot of us were there. A lot of us were there, for sure. And I think we all looked at it like how he looked at it in that moment. Like, she better get it together, because this man ain't playing with her. You know, she better obey this man, her husband. But no, she was being abused. She was humiliated the worst, I think, out of anybody I had ever seen there. Like, she was humiliated, degraded, and treated the absolute worst.
Yeah, I would say that too. I was trying to reconnect to some things that I may have seen with Velvet. But it was Velvet. I don't know,
Velvet,
man.
the thing with Velvet is Velvet fought back.
Velvet fought back. That's what makes it. That's what. Yeah. Velvet.
So it almost was like, oh, do they just have this tumultuous relationship where they like fighting each other? But that day on 4th of July, that night of 4th of July, he stripped her. I remember he stripped her of her clothes, got her on the ground, like in some type of like headlock or something. I just can't remember what he was actually doing. But I remember us standing all around her, like not close, but we made a circle, and we weren't close to each other, but it was like
enough,
we were protecting him like a wall.
Yeah, it was enough to stop her if you tried to run.
Yeah, that too. She couldn't go anywhere. Men and women were around
in an open field.
It was an open field. We were all there. Like, we had our blankets. We were eating Chinese food. Like, it was a regular night. Not a regular night, but like a night we wanted to like celebrate and just drink. He was drinking. And it just like happened so fast. I don't know what he thought, if she was being disrespectful. He thought, I don't know. It was just like it happened so fast. He got her in a headlock on the ground, and then she was wearing like this really pretty like dress or like skirt thing, and I remember he just like stripped her, and she was left in her bra and her underwear, and she had to stand up in front of all of us in her bra and underwear in shame. And he told the guys, "Y'all, we looking at her? What are you looking at her for? Turn around." I remember that moment. He told all the guys to turn around and face the other way when she was in her bra and underwear. And I don't remember what else was said. I remember Sybil was there, because she was kind of like, you know, Sybil was always like in panic mode, like, what's going on? While I feel like some of us had seen and heard so much that we were kind of like removed. So yeah, but I said it in the interview, I had already convinced myself in my mind, like, Velvet was always giving him a hard time.
Justify her abuse is
Yeah.
that you need to stop
Yeah.
giving the cult leader such a hard time, and that's why we excuse every abusive incident that pertained to Velvet.
Yeah, but she was just like not having it. Like she was like she was you're not about to just keep doing this stuff to me. I'm gonna bite you back. Like she would come back just to get him back, you know. But
right.
you know, I don't know. It's, you know, Velvet's really hard. You know, she's one way one day, another way. I don't know, but he, you know, he's like that too. At one point I just thought they like it. they like, because he would say things like they get physical with each other, you know, aggressively, and then they get physical sexually. They like it, and I just thought, oh, okay, that's what they like.
I accepted it.
I accepted it. Yeah.
We really thought that we had to struggle, we had to suffer, we had to neglect ourselves, deplete ourselves, and then that's how you get a reward.
That's how you get to heaven.
That's how you get to heaven.
You gotta go through hell.
You have to. No, you didn't come here. I'm having a good time. Don't look at me.
Right.
I'm doing and eating whatever I want to do, but you don't get to do this. You didn't come here for that. You came here to suffer.
Right. You didn't come here to be happy. You would always say. You didn't come here to be happy.
And in the end, which is not an identifiable destination, in the end, you're gonna get everything, but don't pay attention to me.
Bro, this man is twisted. And yeah, man. I bet he's still making them same jokes and things, and they laughing. You know, but it is not a game.
It's not a game.
No. But I mean, you know, I know a lot of people talk about, like, you know, will we talk about everything? I see that a lot. You talk about everything, and it's like, I don't even know everything at this point. Like, there's still things that come to me every day that I'm addressing, because, you know, there was so many things that got tucked away. You know, we don't talk about those things, or when we do talk about it, we had what we would always say. For so long, I didn't speak about what happened on July 4th. I just said things like, I didn't see anything. You know, I said things like, if he ever abused somebody, I didn't see it.
Yeah, I just flat out lied because I couldn't even come up with a believable story fast enough. So I became a master at deflecting.
Yeah.
When I didn't know an answer, deflect.
Yeah.
If the scripted answer, if I didn't have a scripted answer, deflect. Just deflect. When in doubt, deflect.
And I definitely wasn't even aware of my own abuse. Like, I wasn't aware of being coerced, you know. In my mind, it was like, you know, even though I said no to him, you know, it was like I was his property. So, you know, he'd always say, you belong to me, your soul belongs to me. And so he could kind of, it's like he could just walk in a room any night he choose, and if you're sleeping in there, he can wake you up and say, come on. You know, that was just like rule. Like, it was just like he could do whatever he wanted to do. If you're in the bathroom, just minding your business. He can walk in there and do whatever he wants to do. It was like, you know, and you try to convince yourself that you enjoyed it, but it's very unnatural. It's very disconnected. It's like, no way. No way this could be that bad. Like no way this person could be that evil that, you know, they just like get what they want from you and they just like done with you and throw you away like that. And not saying that, like, you know, like somebody like Tanisha is in a better position because I know a lot of people think like, oh, the victim is mad because Tanisha was in a better position. She got more attention. She had more intimate moments. And maybe people would say that about other women as well, including myself. Like, oh, you guys are just mad because you guys wanted him and he didn't want you. Like, it was just like, no, trust me, I don't want to be Tanisha, you know, because if you have to beat me every day to do the things, like, no, I don't want to be in her position. I don't think anybody does. I think that the amount of attention she got, like, for example, she was given the right to basically command anybody or to say, I want Chinese food, and somebody can go get it. You know, somebody can immediately go get it for her.
Likely me.
Yeah. She was in that position where, I guess, of that power, and maybe people like Portia, you know, who wanted that and stuff, like, or she gets more of his attention, and maybe there's women that are still there to this day that want his attention. Maybe they're more in competition with somebody like Tanisha. But once you realize that what is happening is not love, that it's truly abuse, no one wants that. Like, no one wants to be in that position. She's
every day you hypersensitive to even dealing with anybody else, to the point where you get so triggered easily. Your demons are always getting triggered, that when you eat, we feeding you, but it make it look like we not feeding you. But she's stressing because she's being faced with her demons. And she'll tell you, like, and I always ask her, like, oh, whenever you ready to go, let me know, because I don't, you sure you straight? I just leave her alone. She be in her own little world, but you still got to interact with the people around you, because it's not easy, man. This shit ain't easy, because you came here to face yourself. And now you facing yourself. We in the mood, right? This is what it's about right here. Right. Malia is always in her, like, triggered. She's always triggered, constantly triggered. Constantly triggered. Every time she deal with someone else, is just triggered. And I'm like, damn, like, what you gonna do? Like, what you gonna do? Because you got us looking out here like we fucking starving you or something. You got me looking crazy. You got me looking out here like, you know what I'm saying, like, niggas are starving you, but you know what I'm saying? Like, but tell the world what's really going on, because it's not fair. That's not right for people to, like, look how he doing that little girl, that poor little girl.
No, I
eat
good.
Bro.
I eat hella meals. I eat.
Actually in the worst position out of all of them, because more. So they kind of, like, for example, Portia gets neglected so much that she will try to do something wrong so that she maybe can get slapped. You know, it's like, it's to the point where now they've associated a healthy relationship, or one that is passionate, with one where you might get smacked up from time to time. He's convinced them that women like that. I remember me coming in as a virgin, like, I just didn't really know a lot about sex or what I liked and disliked. But I remember him often saying that, like, women like it rough. They like to almost feel like they're being assaulted. Like, they like that type of game. He would say that he actually was hired as an escort or a gigolo to chase women around and act like he was a predator. to then have sex with him. So he felt like that type of woman was every woman, and every woman really wanted to be choked up and yoked up and kind of a little bit. I thought that maybe that could be true. So I played into that sometimes, but I don't like that. I'm not nobody. Don't put your hands on me. I don't like that. I don't think any woman really likes that. I think that it becomes something that you can get accustomed to. Yeah, I think that it becomes something you can get used to. And you could think that it's love because the person says, oh, baby, but I love you so much. That's why I had to hit you, because you just make me so mad sometimes. And I can't let you make me mad, because if you make me mad, then I'm not going to be a good man for you. And you know I got to be a good man for you because I love you so much. You know, so you think, and you start associating love with that physical abuse. But don't nobody want to be Tanisha for real, for
And
real.
of course, an abuser would have to convince himself that the women like the abuse in order to do it.
Yeah.
So he
gets hard by whipping Tanisha. He gets hard. Like, he gets a rise out of it. He loves taking the belt and whipping her. He loves it. It absolutely excites him. And I don't even know, bro. Like, that still to this day, just it's like, what? No. I just remember hugging her with all those webs on her back and just crying with her. I cried with her. I told her she was strong. Because in her mind, she took those whips for all of us, for every Black woman. That's what she did in her mind. And Tanisha is very strong, but she don't deserve that, bro. She's a sweet person, for real, for real.
Oh.
Motherfucker.
I'd rather get beat up than fight. That's not who I am. I'm a very loving person.
Then why you keep acting like you got a fucking attitude?
Because when I'm in my demons, I get triggered and I go to those spaces of being prideful and thinking I have it all like that. But that's not who I am. It's a face that shows. That's Aries, but Pisces is very sensitive. It makes me very soft. That's not who I am. Like, they are always there for me.
They ready to handle business. They was with you. They was your sister, nigga. They was trying to stick up for you every day.
Yeah, and I feel that, but I feel like at the same time, I feel like they were against
Call
me.
the cops, nigga. Stop calling the cops and let us handle shit ourselves.
All of them are. Yeah. That's why I was paying attention to the comments as well. I want to remind everybody to please don't take your anger for the cult leader and apply it to the women that are there, because they are innocent. You have to understand that these women are afraid. They're in a damaged state. The things that they're saying, they're not saying it from a place of health and well-being. Please refrain from calling them names. Even Courtney and Velvet, please refrain from making them as bad as the cult leader, because everybody is trying to deal with what they experience with the cult leader, because as much as the cult leader likes to play the victim, he promoted what he was doing in a particular way in an attempt to lure people getting into they would have never came, because contrary to popular belief, people don't join cults. They join groups that they feel like are in alignment with their values and their life purpose. It is not Tanisha's fault. It is not Portia's fault. It is not Jayon's fault, Kayla's fault, Courtney's fault, anybody's fault. What you're watching is people who are in a sick state of mind because they've been dealing with a sick man. And once you remove the sick man, I guarantee those women will heal. But they haven't allowed themselves a space to heal because they're still connected to the sickness. sounds similar to what we was promoting. You can't heal in the same environment that made you sick,
Yeah.
and that's carbonation.
Yeah. Can't hear.
So
Not there.
please do not take all of that energy and that anger and that hurt that you got, that rage, apply it to the cult leader, because he's the common denominator to all of this.
Yeah, it's funny because like I was talking about that earlier when we were always so angry, you know, and I see that a lot in the present, you know, members, like they're just so angry, you know, at the people, you know, victim bashing, saying that the victim is not really acting like a victim, you know, and just like just saying everything they can say, like they're so mad at everybody else, you know, they're mad at the system, they're mad and mad and mad. And I'm just like, what's really behind all that? You know, that's not where your anger is really towards. And that's why it sounds really forced. It sounds really forced because, and it sounds almost like you're not hard. You're not a gangster. Like, why are you bucking up at the camera like this? And it doesn't sound real coming from them because that's not who they are.
That's not.
You know, they believe that taking on his spirit is honorable and righteous. So they do this whole like hood dude thing where they, you know, put their lips to the side and start talking like they got street knowledge. But all these people come from great homes. They come from great homes where their people love on them and kiss on them, you know. And they just probably forgot about that. But it's crazy because hey, I see them now and I'm like, that's not even who you are, because even like that, you know. And a lot of anger, I realized, like Tanisha always had a lot of anger though. She did. You know, that's why she would rage down the street and she would run, like she ran out the house butt naked. You know, she's angry, but he's convinced her that she's really angry with herself or with the white man or, you know, somebody else. But
you want me to work on my craft in the bathroom? Cause we've been listening to you be on live since last Wednesday, and you still ain't got off live. When am I gonna work on my craft?
And somebody had told me this. They was like, well, I told you this before, but they told me he sucks your creative energy, like he drains you of your creative energy. And like I realized, because you know, I love drawing, I loved art, but like he used to suck my creative energy. Like he wouldn't let me work on nothing I wanted to work on. Like he'd be like, I want you to do this, I want you to draw this, I want you to, and then I'd just be like, oh my, he'd be like, you work for me, you know, you gotta draw what I want you to do, you know. And I would just be like, oh my God, I got to a point where I'm like, I hate drawing, like I don't want to draw what you want me to draw, bro. Like
he did me the same way. I'm like, I want to teach and speak, but he telling me what he want me to teach about. I'm like,
yeah,
man, you get to sit up here and go from topic to topic to topic to topic, unlimited with no restrictions, but I gotta sit up here and just talk about one thing.
Yeah, he like, you need to make a presentation and like
I'm like,
man, do presentations, bro. It was just like no creativity.
And then the constant reminders of, I'm like, I'm just looking back at, I'm like, yo, all of his decisions and actions were based on insecurity, always constantly trying to remind people the student can't be greater than the master. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm realizing you in your mind must feel some type of threat. I'm not even thinking about outdoing nobody.
Right. Yeah, he used to tell me, like, if I picked up a pencil, I'd be good at drawing too. I'm like, okay, then do it. I do, like, I'm not trying to compete. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like every time, whatever I touch, I'm good at. Okay, that's great. Like, I don't want you to not be great. You know, like, it's crazy. You know, and it's just like, all right. Like, I remember me and Grace, we put the cookbook together, And he kept getting online talking about my cookbook. And I'm just like, bro, you didn't even help us with that cookbook. Like, we made that cookbook. Like, I was just like, wow, bro. Like, but it was like, I just justified it with, well, it was his information. Like, it was always like, well, it's his information. But it's like, no, bro. It was a lot of taking credit for stuff that didn't even belong to him, you know. There is so many talented people that walked into his life, you know, thinking that they was gonna be able to use their talents. Jayon is a beautiful singer.
Man, I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, Jayon is
Yeah,
studio quality. I'm listening
yeah,
to
she's studio quality
I'm
for
listening
sure.
to I'm listening to like, you know, artists on YouTube
Mm-hmm.
Music or whatever. I'm like, and I thought about Jayon. I'm like, Jayon is an amazing singer, but I'm
Yeah.
like, she's being utilized as this puppet
Mm-hmm.
for this cult leader. I'm like, what a waste of talent. And the fact that this cult leader is so self-absorbed to not nurture, like a
Yeah.
real leader doesn't get satisfaction so much from their own achievements, but being able to uplift others to a level of achievement themselves. And I'm like, how beautiful would it be to see Jayon's singing ability promoted in the way that it should be. And I'm thinking about Jayon. I'm like, yo, you don't need this pathetic man.
All praise to the Most High. Don't believe in angels in the sky. We the Most High frequency. Know that God is everything. Hold up, wait, say. If you wanna speak them lies, no, I see through that. Want to see that I am truly aligned, and I say that, be that. Knowledge is what I proclaim, I live that. Illusion of freedom inside your mind. Knowledge is power, be way ahead of your time. Got the cells in me, they praise me cause I am divine. Like I'm God, like I know that I am I.
You have a God-given voice that will take you wherever you want to go. And she absolutely loves singing. She can rap too. She's gifted. This isn't we aren't regular people off the street.
Yeah.
These are Pice, brilliant when it comes
Pice
to music.
is freaking
Caliber,
amazing.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Courtney is brilliant on them beats.
Yeah, he's
Jalen
good.
is gifted. I've watched and sat with these guys. Brilliant. When it comes to technology, his Rambo as well. Everybody that's been in carbonation that I know, as far as having an extended relationship with, they're gifted.
Yeah,
they're not dumb. They're not dumb, but for whatever reason, there's some type of childhood issue within us that makes us give up and give away our power to somebody else.
I like how you said that there's some type of childhood issue within us. That's important because the thing that I realized what it was taught to have a healthy sense of self, or like, you know, to just rely on my own judgment for full satisfaction. Like I kind of was indirectly trained to, you know, need outside validation. So I think I depended on that so much that when eventually the co-leader's validation was my only source of validation. So that acceptance and that needing validation constantly and never being good enough. I always felt like, you know, I wasn't good enough. I wasn't good. I had to prove myself and prove myself. So, you know, I'm so glad that I'm overcoming that. You know, I think the first step was just saying no more. I'm not gonna accept your validation anymore of what makes me a good person. I'm a good person because I don't deal with you, first of all. But I'm a good person because I know I am. You know, I don't have to prove that to anybody. You know, and so that was the first step. But yeah, I'm glad you said that because I had to dig in myself. Like, why did I do that? I left my family that I known all my life, that's taken care of me and shown me love genuinely to go live with strangers.
Yeah, that's something. And one of my main things not prior, but after leaving the cult was I need to figure out why I did this in the first place. I'm not gonna get immersed in making this person look bad because I can't make him look any worse than he's already made himself look anyway. But my main takeaway, if I don't figure out anything else, I need to figure out the root cause of why I even went in the first place. And I'm coming to the conclusion that, like you said, it's the need to prove myself, which the common denominator of that is insecurity, low self-esteem, because you don't need to prove yourself when you're secure in yourself. And so what I learned out of all of this is that somewhere in my childhood, I never developed an appropriate, healthy sense of self-esteem, because if I look back at my life, I was always trying to prove something. Like my mother, I noticed that my reward system was based upon my ability to get straight A's. If I got straight A's, I got my mother's approval. I got my family's approval. When I went to college, I got my family's approval. But when I left college, I didn't get my family's approval. When I went to the military, I got my family's approval. When I got out of the military, I didn't know what I was going to do, and I could feel that disapproval and that questioning from my family wanted to know, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? And I look back at my life and I've been in a perpetual state of achieving. That's why I'm so competitive. That's why I want to win everything. Like even playing Taboo, I want to win that. I want to win everything. And I realize it's because I've associated my self-worth with my ability to achieve, and I don't have to do that no more. I don't have to achieve. I came here good enough. And that's what I want to make sure my son knows. I'm not going to teach him about real estate. I'm not going to teach him about stocks and bonds. I need him to know that he's good already. And there's nothing additional he has to do to prove that and earn that. And that, to me, is how we actually break generational curses, rather than through these other symbolic representations of a curse being broken. You having a car, your son graduating from college, getting a house, and having a Mercedes is not an indication that you broke a cycle. It just means that cycle is being expressed in another way. Because
as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I do need your help desperately. Better yet, your inspiration. So please, by all means, comment and let me know what subject that you would like me to sound off about. I definitely have strong opinions, and I will cover more than just carbonation. My common theme is exposing exploitation, the manipulation tactics of abusive people in our society, more specifically predatory people that get off on other people's pain and having power and control over them by any means necessary. I also would like to point out, signs that we must look out for to ensure the safety of ourselves and our loved ones. So please leave me a comment about any subjects you might want to discuss. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you'll be notified when I report on the topic of your choice. And thanks for stopping by, my fellow out-of-pocketers.
Let's take it to the start. It was just me and my guitar, a dreamer on the road, no map, just all those stars. I never backed away, I played where I could play. Loneliness befriended me, felt older than my age. I let go a little, I fell for something new. It was sweet for a moment, this love I never knew. He called me little dreamer and said I'd be okay. I let go of my ambitions and promised him I'd stay. Now all of my dreams are floating like a river in my head. At night in bed, talking myself so wide awake. Oh, he kept telling me to let go of my goals. I never questioned, I just let go of my hopes. And now the vagabond lost herself to love, oh my lonely soul. And now I'm watching as he moves on toward the road, and I just wander through this empty town alone. Broken little dreamer, born to roam. Oh, off you go. I think it's time to go. I think it's time to go.